60 people clapped, then went silent. Because just before the ring touched my finger, his other girlfriend walked in, holding their baby. She screamed, "Tell her who I am, Micah." I looked at him. He froze. My best friend choked on her. Wine. And my heart. My heart shattered right there on stage, in my father's restaurant. I'm Sawyer Quinn, 33. I used to believe betrayal came in slow, quiet doses. Turns out sometimes it hits you like a brick wall. In front of your entire family, your boss, and a damn wedding photographer you didn't even hire. That night still burns in my skull, but it started way earlier, years earlier, in a basement full of mold and hope. I met Micah Langston during the lowest point of my life. I'd just been evicted from my studio apartment in Tulsa, Oklahoma. My ex had stolen my credit cards and crashed my car. I was crashing on my cousin's pull-out couch, working 10-hour shifts as a hotel receptionist. To survive, Micah was the valet guy. Quiet, sweet smile, scar on his left temple that made him look like a villain from a 90s thriller. I fell hard. Too hard. Fast forward 3 years later, he moved in. I had climbed my way up to assistant manager at the hotel, and Micah was working some tech thing from home. I didn't ask too many questions. He said he was doing startup work in crypto investing. I bought it. I mean, I wanted to believe. That's the worst part, right? We want to believe the person sleeping next to us is real. My dad, Emery Quinn, restaurant owner, retired firefighter, no filter king of sarcasm, hated him. Day one, he pulled me aside and said, "That boy lies like he breathes. Just wait." I laughed. Told him he was paranoid. God, I should have listened. Micah proposed on my birthday. Huge setup, string lights, my favorite band, a local alt rock trio called Rag Velvet, and a custom-made chocolate cake with "Say Yes, Sawyer" written in gold icing. I did. Said yes. Cried like a moron in front of everyone. My best friend, Bree, gave me the weirdest look after I told her. Something in her eyes was off, but she hugged me and smiled anyway. Now here's where things get ugly. Fast. 2 weeks after the engagement, I caught him sneaking out at 6 a.m. on a Sunday. Weird, right? I asked where he was headed. He said, "Gym," which would have been fine if we hadn't canceled our memberships the month before to save for the wedding. I asked again. He changed his story. Said he was meeting a friend for early coffee, but his shirt was inside out. His cologne was fresh, and he'd shaved. For coffee? A chill ran down my spine, but I played dumb. Watched him walk out, then tailed him in my dad's old pickup truck. He drove across town, parked in front of a beige duplex, knocked. A woman opened the door, holding a baby. She smiled. Micah kissed her. Kiss her. Full on the mouth. I almost threw up in the glove compartment. I didn't even get out of the truck. Just drove straight to Bree's place, shaking like a storm drain. She opened the door, saw my face, and whispered, "He didn't." I said nothing. Just collapsed. We cried for 2 hours. Then Bree said something I'll never forget. "You're not going to just walk away. Are you?" No, I wasn't. Because what came next was war. But I didn't want just revenge. I wanted theater. Over the next month, I planned the most perfect engagement party of all time. Decorations, music, invitations. I smiled through every second. Told Micah I wanted to make it a surprise. Celebration for my dad, Micah's future father-in-law. He ate up. Micah didn't suspect a thing. But Bree? She helped me plant the seeds. I tracked down the other woman. Her name was Raina. She was 27. A nurse. She didn't even know I existed. When I showed up at her workplace and told her everything, she dropped her clipboard, then started sobbing. Turns out he told her I was his sister. And the baby? 6 months old. Micah said he was trapped taking care of you, she told me. That you were mentally unstable and threatened to kill yourself if he left. I laughed so hard, I couldn't breathe. Then I showed her my engagement ring. Raina's jaw dropped. "We have to destroy him," she whispered. I nodded, publicly. So we made a deal. The engagement party, my so-called surprise for Dad, would be the perfect trap. We printed photos, made a video slideshow. Raina even recorded a conversation with Micah, confessing to juggling us both. Bree edited it into a cute little package, added background music, and titled it, "Meet Micah Langston, Fiance, Father, Fraud." The night of the party came. Dad's restaurant was packed. Guests mingled. Balloons everywhere. I wore silver. Dressed in fake eyelashes I could barely keep on. Micah showed up looking smug as hell. He kissed my cheek. Told me I looked like a movie star. I told him, "You're about to be famous." He laughed. Then I gave a signal. The lights dimmed. Projector fired up ... and then ... everything unraveled. What would you do if your entire life detonated in front of a crowd like that? Would you let it burn, or would you strike the match yourself? Tell me in the comments. Gasps, screams. One guy dropped his glass of wine. On the projector screen, Micah, shirtless, whispering sweet nothings into Raina's neck. Then the next slide. Our engagement photo. Then the baby. Then the recording. I love you, Raina. I'm only staying with Sawyer because she's unstable. I can't leave her right now. You could hear jaws cracking from how fast people's mouths dropped. Micah stood frozen, one hand still gripping his champagne flute. He turned pale. Then green ... my dad shot up like a firecracker. "You lying piece of rat puke," he growled. Marching toward him, Micah backed up so hard he tripped over the cake table. The cake flipped ... it didn't just fall. It sailed. Smashed. Into Micah's chest. Chocolate everywhere. The room exploded in laughter, gasps, and someone yelled, "World Star." He scrambled to his feet, eyes darting. Then Raina stepped forward. She didn't yell. She didn't scream. She just calmly said, "This is your son, Micah. You told me he deserved a father. That Sawyer was your sister. You're disgusting." Then she walked out. Micah turned to me, shaking, chocolate dripping down his collar. I can explain. I smiled. That's when Bree, bless her chaotic soul, walked up behind him and dumped a whole bottle of red wine on his head. "Oh no, baby," she said. "We already did." Then came the twist. Instead of storming out like some heartbroken bride-to-be, I grabbed the mic. Everyone went dead silent. "Thank you all for coming to what was supposed to be a celebration," I said. "Instead, let's call it a wake, for Micah's dignity." Scattered laughter. A woman near the bar shouted, "Drag him!" I turned to Micah. I emptied our shared bank account. Took my name off the lease. Sold your crypto rig. Your phone. Plan ends tomorrow. And your stuff? Already on the curb. Covered in glitter. Gasps ... and one slow clap. From my father, Micah looked like he was about to throw up. Or cry, or both. "Where the hell am I supposed to go?" He croaked. "Back to Raina?" I said sweetly. "Oh, wait. She blocked your number. Maybe call your other girlfriend." "What was her name again?" "Shanna." His eyes widened. "How?" "You? Use the same password for everything. Genius. Your email. Your Dropbox. Your DoorDash." The man ordered takeout for two almost every night he claimed to be. On intermittent fasting. My aunt screamed laughing. Micah ran. Literally bolted out of the restaurant like it was on fire. Everyone turned to me. I was shaking, but smiling. Hugged me so hard my ribs cracked. Dad whispered, "Told you he was full of crap." Then Bree said the wildest thing. "Sawyer, you could go viral for this." I blinked. "Are you kidding?" "No, I mean it." "You ruined him in front of 60 people. And someone definitely recorded that. Someone did. In fact, 3 people. Did. And posted it. The next morning. I woke up to 6 missed calls, 5 news DMs, and a video titled, "Bride exposes cheating fiancé at her engagement party. Justice served cold." 1.2 million views. In 12 hours. In the comments section. Savage. Micah thought he was in a rom-com. Turns out he was the villain. I don't even know these people, and I feel vindicated. Can we give Sawyer a medal? Suddenly, people were reaching out. Talk shows, podcasts, random moms from Michigan sending me friendship bracelets. One woman said she named her new cat Micah the Liar. But then, things got darker. Because the internet. It finds things. Someone found Micah's Reddit history. Turns out, my ex had been venting anonymously for months on relationship subreddits, posting about my unstable girlfriend who's obsessed with me, and how do I leave a toxic partner without losing my side chick. People connected the dots fast. I wanted to crawl into a hole. But then I laughed. Out loud. Because you know what? I wasn't broken. I was free. Until the next twist hit. 3 days after the party, someone knocked on my apartment door. Not Bree. Not. My dad. Not Raina. It was a woman I'd never seen. Early 40s. Sharp cheekbones. Deep red lipstick. Black coat. She handed me an envelope. "You don't know me," she said, "but I know him. And I think we should talk." She turned and walked away. Inside the envelope, photos. Receipts. Text messages. Micah's lies went deeper. Turns out, I wasn't the first woman he did this to, not even the second. There was a pattern, a system, women, money, fake names, fake jobs, fake love. And suddenly, I wasn't just a jilted bride. I was part of a long con. And this woman? She had a plan to burn him down for good. But should I go along with it? Or should I walk away now that the truth is out? What would you do if the man who ruined your life had done it to others over and over, and someone offered you a chance to bury him forever? Drop your answer in the comments, because I couldn't decide. But fate was already pushing me forward. Her name was Dahlia Norr. She was calm, calculated, and angry in a way that scared me. Not explosive, not messy, but cold, controlled, surgical. She wasn't here for drama. She was here for blood. I invited her in. She sat on my couch like she'd already been there 100 times. Then pulled out her phone and said, Micah ruined my sister's life. She OD'd last year after he drained her savings, ghosted her, and blamed her for being clingy. She was 26. Her name was Harper. Silence. I didn't breathe. Dahlia tapped her screen. He used the name Cameron with her. Same crypto pitch. Same sob story about a crazy ex. Same fake affection. And the same exit strategy. She turned the screen to me. There he was. Micah, smiling, holding Harper in a selfie on some hiking trail. Same scar on his temple. Same smug eyes. Different name. Different girl. Same lie. I stared at the photo so long my vision blurred. You're telling me he's done this before? 4 times that I know of, Dahlia said. But you're the first one who fought back. Publicly. My head spun. She pulled out more receipts. Literal receipts. Fake business cards. A phony LLC. Screenshots of Venmo requests. All tied to fake names. Cameron, Devin, Leo. But the photos? Always him. Always that same crook grin. Dahlia looked at me like a general picking her next weapon. You humiliated him. That hurt his ego, but it didn't touch his money or his freedom. She leaned in. I say we do both. My hands were shaking. I don't want to go to jail. She laughed. Honey, I'm not asking you to break laws. I'm asking you to shine a spotlight on the roach and let the system do the rest. Then she showed me a file, a case folder she'd been building, documented aliases, bank info, IRS fraud, identity theft, even a stolen credit card from one of the girls. I already sent this to a private investigator, she said. But with your side of the story, we can press charges, maybe even go class action. My heart raced. Then stopped when she said, I also found his real name. I blinked. His name's not Micah Langston? She shook her head. That was his name 2 identities ago. His birth name is Clayton Royce Hollowell, grew up in Indiana, has a sealed juvenile record and a vanished trail of complaints from exes across 5 states. I sat there, stunned, nauseous. Everything I knew was a lie. You okay? Dahlia asked. I wasn't, but I nodded anyway, because here's the thing. I'd already burned his image. Now I could burn his. Foundation. We got to work. Over the next week, Dahlia helped me compile every message, receipt, and digital breadcrumb Micah had ever left. Bree helped too. She was practically foaming at the mouth to get justice. Raina came back on board. Even 2 other women, Lindsay and Carmen, emailed me after seeing the viral video. Micah had been playing a long game, but his mask had finally cracked. We built a timeline, built a site, built a case. Then one night, I got a call from an unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something told me to pick up. Why are you doing this? His voice. Micah's, quiet, furious. You mean exposing a sociopath? You ruined my life. He hissed. Double quotes. No, Micah, or should I say Clayton, you did that all by yourself. Silence. Then he said something that made my blood run cold. You don't know who you're messing with. And hung up. I stood there, phone still to my ear, heart in my throat. Was that a threat? Or desperation? I didn't know, but the next morning, I found my car keyed. 4 deep gashes. Tires slashed. On my windshield. A note. You want war? You got it. He was spiraling. I filed a report. Sent security cam footage to the cops. Dahlia looped in her pie. We sent everything to a fraud attorney. In Dallas, a bulldog named Greer, who'd taken down romance scammers before. Greer called me the next day and said, tell your girls to buckle up, because we're going scorched earth. What would you do if your ex wasn't just a liar, but a full-blown identity thief with a trail of destruction? Would you back off before it got dangerous? Or would you drag him out into the light? No matter the risk? Drop it in the comments, because I was all in, but I had no idea how far he'd go to stop us. The lawsuit was filed on a Monday. Civil fraud, digital impersonation, and financial abuse. Micah, or Clayton Royce Hollowell, was about to be served in the middle of a sandwich shop where he worked under yet another fake name, Mark. Laughed when I heard that. A common reduced to footlongs and name tags. We were winning, until we weren't, because the first domino fell from inside. Our group. Dahlia. Let me rewind. 3 days after the lawsuit, a news station reached out. They'd seen the viral video, the website, the GoFundMe. Dahlia helped me launch to support legal costs. They wanted an interview, a real one. Studio. Makeup, full segment. I was nervous, but Dahlia said, "This is your moment. The world's finally hearing you." Except, when the segment aired, it wasn't me they featured. It was her, former nurse turned justice seeker, Dahlia Noor, exposes serial scammer who destroyed her sister's life. Watch her chilling story tonight at 7. I blinked. Watch the preview. Again. My name, not mentioned. Bree called me in a fury. What the hell? She used your video, your story, and made it hers. I didn't want to believe it. I messaged Dahlia. No reply. Then came the second blow. The GoFundMe, which had hit $18,000 in just 2 days, was suddenly empty. The funds were withdrawn by the organizer. The page said the organizer being Dahlia Noor. I called, texted, emailed. Nothing. Radio silence. Panic hit me like a truck. I called Greer, the attorney. He was calm, too calm. "I hate to tell you this," he said, "but that woman never sent me half the evidence you mentioned. Just her sister stuff. Her goal wasn't a lawsuit. It was attention, and apparently got cash." Bree exploded. "She grifted the grifters." Raina cried. I went numb. The woman who walked into my apartment offering justice had just pulled the rug from all of us. I was back at square one, except worse, because now I looked like the scammer. Post started circulating. Is the viral bride story fake? Did she pocket the donations? New twist. The victim might be a clout chaser. Micah's Reddit burner accounts? Oh, they went off. He flooded the comment sections with lies. She's lying. I broke up with her months ago. She forged those messages. She's exploiting mental health for fame. It worked. People doubted me, questioned the story, accused me of faking the baby. Really? And guess what? Micah started posting videos, selfie-style TikToks with captions like, "I'm not perfect, but I'm not a monster. Cancel culture destroyed my life." She lied. He painted himself as a misunderstood, manipulated man, the real victim. And the worst part? People ate it up. I knew something was off with her. She seems fake. Micah's eyes look honest. Honest? The man used 4 names and a fake crypto career. I wanted to scream. Instead, I shut everything down. Socials, phone, news. Bree came over and found me curled up on the bathroom floor. "Hey," she whispered. "Don't let them rewrite what happened. We know the truth." I shook my head. It doesn't matter. If the internet says I'm a liar, then I am. "No," she said. "You're not finished." She was right. I didn't care about the fame, or the followers, or the clickbait headlines, but I did care about justice. About warning the next woman before she got sucked in like the rest of us. So I took it old school. I wrote a letter, printed it. And mailed it to every woman we'd identified in the lawsuit. All of them. Inside the envelope, everything Micah had done. A signed statement from me, and the receipts Dahlia never submitted. No drama, no press, just truth. And guess what? They responded. All of them. Within a week, we had a real legal team, Greer, backed by 2 additional attorneys, refiled with evidence only from verified victims. Micah's TikTok pity parade, used against him. His Reddit rants, subpoenaed. And Dahlia disappeared. Last I heard, someone spotted her in Vegas, promoting a self-published book, Love, Lies, and Revenge, My True Story. She even blurred out the baby's face on the cover and used my viral photo. I couldn't decide whether to scream or laugh, but the twist? It helped because the mess exposed more of Micah's past. A 5th woman came forward. Then a 6th. He was unraveling. Fast. Then came the final blow. Court date. In person. Micah will be forced to face all of us. but not before one final trick. 2 nights before the trial, I found something on my doorstep. A flash drive dot inside. A video dot from Micah. He looked rough, sweaty. Wild-eyed dot, he said 5 words that changed everything. You have no idea. Sawyer. Then he smiled and ended with, see you in court. What would you do if the man you exposed suddenly flipped the script again and hinted he still had secrets, real ones? Would you risk it all to finally shut him down? Or would you run before his final card drops? Tell me in the comments, because I had no clue what was coming next. The courtroom was colder than I expected. Gray walls. Peeling seal above the judge's bench. That humming fluorescent buzz overhead like some bad dream on loop. I sat between Bree and Raina, hands locked, knees bouncing. Micah strolled in with a crook tie and courtroom smirk. Like this was a bad improv show, and we were just background props. The bailiff called out his full name, Clayton Royce Hollowell. I saw him flinch. Good. The judge, a no-nonsense woman in her 60s named Judge Meeks, scanned the file, then looked at Micah. Sir, you are being sued by multiple plaintiffs for financial fraud, misrepresentation, and emotional damages. How do you plead? Micah stood. His voice was calm. Too calm. Not guilty, Your Honor. Then he turned and smiled at me. Something in my stomach twisted. The prosecution started strong. Greer laid it all out. Aliases, digital breadcrumbs, photos, screenshots, testimonies from 5 of us. Judge Meeks nodded, took notes, asked hard questions. She was sharp. Then it was Micah's turn. His attorney, a smug-looking man named Harlan Drix, stood up, holding a file thick with tabs. Your Honor, he said smoothly, we have a witness. A new witness. One that may shed light on Miss Quinn's history. Wait, what? Before we could object, the side door opened. In walked Dahlia. My jaw dropped. She wore a beige turtleneck, hair slicked back, minimal makeup, like a rebrand in human form. She didn't look at me, didn't flinch. Just sat down, placed her hand on the Bible, and said, I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth. Greer stood up fast. Your Honor, this witness was not disclosed. She was discovered after public records were released during Ms. Quinn's viral campaign. Micah's lawyer interrupted. She has relevant information. We ask that she be heard. Judge Meeks sighed. I'll allow it. I wanted to scream. Bree whispered, what the hell is she doing here? I had no answer. Dahlia looked straight ahead and said calmly, No, Sawyer Quinn. I worked with her. She invited me into this lawsuit, but she didn't tell you everything. My pulse spiked. She told us Micah lied to her, that she had no idea about the other women. But I found something in her old messages. She pulled out a printed email. It's an exchange between Sawyer and a friend, dated 2 months before the engagement party. She said, and I quote, he's probably cheating, but I'm going to let him propose anyway and make him pay. Publicly, gasped. The courtroom rippled. She continued. She didn't want justice. She wanted humiliation, fame. Her GoFundMe was her idea. I just helped build the page. I shook my head. That's a lie. Judge Meeks banged the gavel. No outbursts. Dahlia ended with a dagger. I believe Micah is a liar, but Sawyer, she used us. And she's not the victim she's pretending to be. Mic drop. The judge recessed for 10 minutes. Outside, I paced like a trapped animal. Bree was livid. She just sold you out. Again, she faked everything, I snapped. Stole from us, and now she's playing hero witness? Raina stepped forward, eyes wide. Sawyer, is there any truth to that email? I froze. I had written it, but it wasn't scheming. It was venting. I was broken, hurt, angry. I wrote it before I even knew about Raina, before I met the baby, before everything. I was spiraling, I whispered. It wasn't a plan. It was a cry for help. They believed me, but the court? That was different. Because now, Micah had doubt on his side. When the judge returned, her eyes were colder. Due to this new testimony, we will reconvene in 2 weeks to evaluate the plaintiff's credibility and determine if the civil suit will proceed. Court adjourned. Micah walked past me and said one thing, you're not the hero, Sawyer. You're just better at acting than me. He winked, then walked out. Everything shattered. My case. My name. My truth. I didn't sleep that night. But then, a message pinned my phone. Unknown number. One line. I believe you. And I have proof. Attached, a file labeled Dahlia_lies.zip. a video of Dahlia making a deal with Micah. What would you do if the woman who betrayed you once helped destroy you again and finally handed you the bullet to end it all? Would you use it or walk away? Drop your answer in the comments because I had 14 days left to decide how this ends. 2 weeks. That's how long I had to clear my name or lose everything. My story, my credibility. The lawsuit. Micah had flipped the script. Dahlia twisted the knife. And the world? Watching again. Only now, half of them were rooting against. But justice? Still had one card to play. The anonymous file Dahlia_lies.zip came from a burner number. No name, no intro. Just the footage. I almost didn't open it, but Bree did. She played it. Stared at the screen in silence. Then whispered, "Oh my God." He paid her? The video was time-stamped 6 days before the trial. A dingy motel room. Dahlia sitting on the edge of a bed. Micah pacing. "You'll testify?" He asked. She nodded. "If I get the cut we agreed on." He handed her a manila envelope. "You lie on that stand," he said, "and she burns." Dahlia smiled. We had him. We turned it over to Greer, who handed it straight to the DA. Suddenly, civil court wasn't enough. We were going full felony. Day of the final hearing, the courtroom was packed. Media, victims, reporters, half of Tulsa. It seemed. Micah arrived smug as ever. Until Greer stood and said, "Your Honor, we have one final piece of evidence. A recorded bribery transaction involving the defendant and his witness, Miss Dahlia Noor." Micah paled. We played the video. Gasps echoed through the room. Judge Meeks leaned forward. "You bribed a witness?" Micah stuttered. I didn't." She set me up. "Enough," she said, voice sharp as steel. "You committed perjury, fraud, and conspiracy. You're under criminal investigation starting now." The gavel slammed. And just like that, the man who built his life on lies was finally caught in one he couldn't wriggle out of. Cops escorted him out of the courtroom in cuffs. He passed. Emmy, eyes blank, lips tight, and for the first time since this all began, he said nothing. No smirk, no threat, just silence. That's when it hit me. It was over. But not just for me. The lawsuit? Certified class action. Dahlia? Warrant issued to women? Vindicated. My name? Cleared. Loudly. By the next morning, every media outlet flipped the narrative. Bride turned Avenger exposes fraud ring in explosive court reveal. The con men, the lies, and the revenge that broke the internet. I didn't want a spotlight. But this time, it felt right. Because for once, the villain wasn't getting the last word. He was getting a prison ID. It's been 6 months. I moved to Austin. Started over. Bree's with me. She runs her own flow studio now. We laugh a lot. The video of the trial? Still trending. Micah single quotes as fanboys? Real quiet now. Last I heard he got 6 years. His cellmate? A guy named Marco? Guess who'll have to really explain all his fake names now. As for me, I'm not broken. Not. Angry. Just done. Until one last letter arrived. No return address. No name. Just a single line inside. "Nice job, Sawyer. You played the game better than I ever did." It was signed. C.R.H. Clayton Royce Hollowell. Still trying to twist the ending, but not this time. Because this ending is mine. Now you tell me, if your entire world shattered in public and the person who did it tried to flip the story, would you forgive? Or would you fight until the lie bled dry? Drop your answer in the comments. Because sometimes revenge isn't loud. It's quiet, precise, permanent. And it hits hardest when the cameras are still rolling. That's the end of today's story. Did things turn out the way you thought? Or were there some surprises along the way? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think. If you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to hit the like button. And if you haven't joined the community yet, now's the perfect time. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you're always the first to catch new stories. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next adventure.